Thinkwise.
Let me share with you why I am here. And 2 years ago, I had not even heard of Thinkwise. And in November 2020, the first time I went through the doors in our headquarters, and I met the people there. Basically, because I was asked to research the company for some investors. And I got to know the senior people out of Thinkwise and got to know them. And they were telling me about this platform, this great platform they had. And it sounded almost too good to be true. And I've talked to several of you, and I've heard this expression many times. It is too good to be true. And if you have been in the industry as long as I have, usually when it's too good to be true, it tends to be not true. But at Thinkwise, the amazing thing happened is that my previous build-up beliefs were found wrong, because actually that platform seems to be absolutely true. Until today, I've not found any indication that what we are promising to the world is not true. So that was, got my attention there. And basically, there are 3 reasons why I am at Thinkwise. And the first one is the Thinkwise philosophy. 20 years ago, our founder and chief visionary officer came up with a brilliant idea. Basically, that software should not become legacy. It doesn't need to be legacy. But if you look around in the IT world, every software, everybody believes there's this 10-year cycle or this 5-year cycle or whatever. But he came up with a philosophy that we can keep things perpetually. We can keep our software up to date. And you know that because you are here and you are amongst the converted that believe that this is a true philosophy. And my dream for Thinkwise and for us all is that this philosophy of software that doesn't age, that will stay state of the art, that should be the paradigm that the whole IT industry works with. And that's called a revolution. And so my dream for Thinkwise is that we are actually going to be the start of this great movement, this great revolution. And if people want to copy us, you're welcome to it, because it's a superior technology. And I know that in the auditorium today are some of our colleagues. Sometimes we go head-to-head in competition, and we welcome you. Great that you are with us, because we are all in the same way building something great. So that's the first reason I'm here. The second reason is that philosophy is great, but if you can't bring it into practice, it's worth nothing. And we have this kick-ass platform that actually fulfills this promise. And that's marvelous. And the third reason for me was basically that I think that we're on a very precious blue planet. And it's the only one we've got. And if we can contribute something to maintaining this planet for a longer time, and then that is worth fighting for. And our platform provides that. Our company was green before green was even known. And I was amazed finding that. And if you talk to the Thinkwise people about it, they're going like, that's just the way we are. But that's not right, that's something truly special. And those 3 reasons is the reason why I joined Thinkwise and want to be here. And we are on a transformation. And just being here in this auditorium together shows that we're on this road. And if you're on a transformation with a group, the first one you need to transform is yourself. So who amongst you feels that you are personally on some kind of a transition time in your life? Just show your hands. Who is there? Well, amazing. Some people don't know which hand to put up, but that's okay. So, isn't that incredible? You have to start yourself. If you don't start yourself, nothing will change. Things will remain the same. And a Harvard Business School study showed that 20% of senior leadership finds it of a key success element that they have a clear vision, a purpose, something higher than themselves and something higher than just making money. 20%. And even less of them can actually articulate what it is. And it kind of helps to articulate what you want to do, what you find important, because that helps to go with the group. If you can't tell as a leader, we're going this way. So the challenge we have as us together, changing the world, because that's, the ball game that we're playing, even if you didn't realize it coming to Apeldoorn this morning. This is what we're here to do. But there are some challenges. There is this big war going on a little over 2,000 kilometers away from here. We have inflation that I've not seen in my lifetime coming our way. We have technology that is not slowing down because there was a pandemic or anything like that. Technology, the speed of change and growth in technology is actually accelerating. It's going faster than ever. And we have to do something with that. It means something in our lives. There is this climate crisis, an energy crisis, a food and clothing crisis. There are so many things that are happening that are way heavy and big. Trust me, we're not going to solve them all today. We'll do that next week. So, if we look at all those challenges that are happening to us, what does that reflect to us? How should we respond to that? You've seen this slogan around. Every company, an IT company. And I thoroughly believe that this is actually the truth. So the importance of what we do will grow because there won't be a company around that is not an IT company in essence. And that's why I was saddened last week when the CIO of a major financial institution said on stage and on record, we are not an IT company. And frankly, that's the greatest bullshit around. Because if you take a banker out of the bank, your payments will still go on. You'll still be able to get your money and to make transfers and to do, the transactions you want to do. Take the IT out of the bank, and the banker will be panicking and not knowing what to do. So, especially financial services, this is such a nonsense company. So every company, an IT company. That's what we're looking at. That's the world we're living in. But even more important than that is this one. Every IT project is in essence a business project. There's not, even though he said, we're changing our hardware. That's really high tech, that's really core. There's not business involved. Sure, there's business involved. If you don't have a vision as your business, how you want to interact with your customers, you're taking the wrong decisions on your infrastructure, let alone your business processes. So you need that vision. And later on today, our Chief Visionary Officer and founder, Victor Pare, will actually address our vision of the future and where we are going in the next couple of years. So that's very exciting. Make sure you don't miss that one. But if we want to change, it takes guts. It really takes effort. It takes sweat. It takes tears. It takes wrong turns, going in the wrong direction. But in the end, it is essential. Because if you look at what's happening in the IT industry, is that we have been avoiding the tough subjects. We are building little apps around the core systems, because the core systems we don't know anymore. The people who programmed them have retired. And let's build a little app on the side or on top of it that can actually extract the information. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is probably the worst decision ever. If you're not dealing with the tough subjects, if you don't have the guts to go for that transformation, you'll end up with a mess. And one of the reasons I believe that this mess has occurred is because that the amazing thing is that IT companies, and every company is an IT company, doesn't have a representative of IT in the boardroom. When I started my career, all the CIOs reported in basically to the CFO, because the financial people did a course for 2 weeks at their university, and all of a sudden they knew everything about IT and they could manage the IT people. Right? Remember that time, some of you? Or am I the only dinosaur in the room? And then for a while you saw the CIOs entering the boards and talking there and making the decisions. And nowadays I see CIOs basically dropping down a level again and reporting into the COO, the operations department. Because IT has something to do with the business, so let the business make responsible for IT. But doing that is also the root cause problem of what I just say. We're building apps, we're not dealing with the tough core systems that need replacing. So if we're doing this, and we're going through these transformations, let's see which transformations are there. So the first one, obviously, is a business transformation. There are a lot of things happening, and and we see them all around. I'm actually in a previous engagement, I was involved in helping shape the strategy of one of the largest automobile importers in the Benelux. And they have a big problem. Because how many of you drive an electric vehicle? About a third of you. That's pretty exciting. Do you know what that means to those organizations? They have workshops that you don't visit anymore with your car. And their business model was that they sold the car at cost. So the new car you buy is pretty much at cost, and they make their money in the workshop. Slight problem if you don't visit the workshop anymore. Because all of a sudden their whole income stream is at best neutral and probably less than that. And they have to transform not from an organization that sells cars. They are transforming into a financial institution. Their main business will not be shipping units, as they call it, but shipping lease contracts and financial services. That's a big transition they are making. And they're fighting with it because everybody in there knows cars, knows petrol, likes oil. And all of a sudden, as you know, financial services is pretty clean because it's IT, really, isn't it? So that's a business transformation that we're looking at. And it takes a vision and effort to do that. The second one is a technical transformation. And a technical transformation we all are very familiar with. You know, things are happening. We're moving into different technologies, and the technologies are changing all the time. And we need to be with that. We need to make sure that we're staying state of the art. Why? Otherwise, our competitor will be, and we'll lose our advantage. And the third one, as I mentioned before, is our sustainability transformation. And one of the things that we're actually doing is actively searching for those places where we can make an impact, where we can actually reduce our footprint. In our company, and this is not my achievement, this is my predecessor's achievement, our building is zero emission. All our company cars are electric, and as I said, we were green before green was even normal. And that's the standard. But that's not the change. One of the big changes will be in CPU, in server reduction. At local elections, not that long ago, one of the issues was that basically the windmill parks that were placed in front of the coast and other places in the country, that could serve thousands and thousands of households with energy, green energy, was actually used for 2 data centers. And if we want to make an impact, this is an opportunity we have. And we think that we're positioned to do that. So if we can reduce server capacity, that will have a direct, major impact in what's happening in the world today. So listening to all this, and taking all this in account, and seeing the transformations that are needed, both technical, business, sustainability, we have seen the mess that is created in the IT landscapes, where I came across a large corporation who have more than 20,000 small apps. 20,000 small apps. You're being killed by them. So if we do that, we see that low code is not the answer. Low code is a means. So from now on, we will stop identifying ourselves as low code. Because low code is just a means to an end, and in the other way, almost a cause of the problem we have in the IT industry today. And we feel that we have, with our platform, our kick-ass platform, we have the opportunity to transcend this situation. So we will identify ourselves, and I know that's very woke to say it this way, but we will anyway. So we will identify ourselves as a sustainable transformation platform. And this is something that we feel very strongly about, because this is what we actually do. We enable you to transform your business, to help you be successful. And that's the business we're in. And while doing so, we're going to contribute to a beautiful, better planet. And it's always cool because I'd like to say we pledge, and that's not something you say lightly. We pledge that we will continue on this road. We will make our platform lighter, better, while functionality richer. And about 6 months ago was the first time I asked our CTO, Jasper Kloost, who will be talking on later on today, I said, can we do this? And he got a little bit pale around the nose, and he was going, and I guess he hoped I would not mention it again. Too bad. I did, and he came up with his team with a beautiful solution that I'll come back to later. So we pledge that we'll be on this journey to work towards, and we are right now among the lightest platforms around. But we are going to do everything in our power to become by far the lightest platform that any server will handle. And in that way, we will, with you together, we'll make beautiful applications, core applications that will solve this terrible mess that is around in the IT landscape, while also saving the planet. We're doing two things, killing two birds with one big old stone. So we have this kick-ass platform, as I call it, that is eternally state-of-art. It will never be, if it's not state-of-art, somebody was sleeping. It doesn't need to be. It will also always be state-of-art. With privacy by design, with security by design, all these things are already in there. We've covered it. Check. Been there, done it, got the t-shirt. And we're going to add something to it, which we call sustainability by design. And you can't just do it and go, hey, let's be sustainable today. If we're going to do this right, and we are going to do this right, we'll make sure that it fits our design. It will fit the things we do. And I told you about the little hesitance because, we do runtime interpretation. And runtime interpretation is not the most efficient way to deal with your CPU capacity. And even though that, we have made the first step. And our next release, we will have a major reduction on data storage, CPU handling, and how this is done. It's always good for me to just introduce it and say, hey, this is great. Jasper, in his keynote later on in the technical track, will actually tell you how this is done. But the actual result of this, and TCP is our Thinkwise community portal, our own internal ERP application. So if you want to say to the world, we can actually do it, you have to do it yourself first. And this is our own application. And what you see is that in the current release, we're over 80,000 records that we need, with all the storage and all the capacity there and the extra CPU use to go through that whole mountain of records. In our current release, in our development environment, that's being reduced to 20,000 odd, which requires a lot less processing time to get through a very small stack instead of the big mountain behind it. So this is very exciting. I'm very proud that Jasper and Anna and our team has actually made this work. This is so flippin' cool. This is the first step, and these are the people who are going like, ah! And they went out and did it. A big hand for our technical people. Go on. In closing, I'd like to share a short story with you. One day, a farmer found an egg, a little strange egg. And he was looking at it, he was going, okay. And he put it in his chicken coop with his chickens. And one of the hens sat on it and hatched it, and out came a little bird. A little eaglet. And the mother hen raised the eaglet to an eagle and learned it how to pick grain and to talk like a chicken, bark, 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 and to kind of flap its wings and fly just a couple of meters, and that was it. And that was the chicken. And the farmer was happy. And he saw, yeah, that's a nice bird. Cool. And one day, a friend of the farmer visited him. And he said, hey, you have a strange bird there. That doesn't look like a chicken. The farmer said, look at it. It sounds like a chicken. It picks grain like a chicken. It even flies like a chicken. It's a chicken. And the friend said, no. I'll prove to you. I'll prove to you that this is actually an eagle, because that's what it is. And he picked up the animal and held it up, walked into the yard, and said, you are an eagle. You are a king of the sky. You rule the skies. Fly and be yourself. And the eagle kind of looked around, saw its friend there, flapped down, and pock, started eating grains again. And the farmer was just laughing his head off. See, I told you. It is a chicken. You with your eagle thing. No, the friend said. No. Listen. Let me try again. And he tried again. And he climbed on top of the barn, and he stood there, and he raised the animal, and he said, look, You are a king of the sky. You are born to rule. You're born to fly and to soar. Now go fly and soar. And the animal looked around and basically only saw his friends down. And floppity, 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 flop, went down to the chicken and started to pick grains again amongst the chicken. And the farmer said, see, you tried twice, you failed twice, forget it. And the friend said, no, let me try one more time. So one morning, very early, before sunrise, he took the animal and climbed up to the mountain. And he climbed up to the mountain, and basically, when the sun came up in the morning, he was on top of the mountain with the eagle. And he held up the animal, once again, pointing its head at the sun. You are an eagle. You are a king. You should rule the skies. You were born to soar. And the animal lifted its head, saw the sun, and started carefully and hesitantly to fly. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here because we are not chicken. We are the eagles. And together, we can make a change. We can actually change this world while doing our jobs, doing the things we love, changing businesses, changing the earth for good. Thank you very much.